Today we're doing another early review of the New Year's Tempest Trials event in Fire Emblem Heroes. Reminder, this event will launch in 2025, just like the banner, so I've got a little bit of waiting till then. If you score the maximum 50,000 points, you can get up to 42 orbs, 11,000 feathers, and 80 secret coins. To start the new year, we're getting Ephemeral 1 Divine Codes. There is a Light Blessing for Mythic Rune. For Sacred Seals, you can get Attack and Res Finish and Assault Troop. Last, the reward unit is going to be New Year's Innis. You can have a 4-star and 5-star combi. We'll talk about Innis more later on. It's been a hot 2 batches of Sacred Seals this holiday season. First, Attack and Res Finish 3 can grant an easy plus 6 second res if you're within 3 spaces of an ally. If you have a special ready, or it is triggered, then you can also get plus 5 true damage per hit as well. Finish Sacred Seals are excellent stat boosters for infantry as long as you aren't completely solo. 3 space range is generous, and with the 5 true damage, they technically can be one of the higher damaged options, assuming you can get a quick special ready. Infantry have many special cooldown skills, plus we've gotten a lot of cooldown support and instant cooldown effects rolling in. If you can, finish skills work well with brave hits and follow-ups. The more hits, the more damage you get. There is no healing on the tier 3, but it's still a very solid skill. I would definitely recommend upgrading any and all finish seals. Next, we got Assault Troop 3. At start of turn, if you have full health or there is a foe within 3 rows and 3 columns, the armor unit will get the Charge status. Charge lets you move 3 spaces in a line, but it's considered warp movement. However, unlike normal warping, you cannot move through foes or obstacles, plus Obstruct is going to block the movement. Basically, armies can get 3 movement, but with a few conditions. In the banner video, I mentioned you could use this for Nidhogger, but I forgot this is one of those sword, lance, and axe only type skills. Since the new Slick and Wily Fighter 4 skills give follow-ups for either phase, they can be great pairings for Assault Troop if you want some player phase options. Bolt Fighter is another choice, but the devs seem to have forgotten about that skill. Since this is a Sacred Seal, you can get 3 movement with Savior in the C slot. That can be fun for general content, plus many armies are strong enough for mixed phase fighting. One of the better users for this skill besides the Raging Storm Edelgards is Diatzi. She has Pathfinder, so Diatzi can jump ahead, then her team leads past her. Diatzi also inflicts gravity in a line after moving, so she can use the extra movement to catch someone out. For the most part, Assault Troop is the easiest to use compared to Armor March or Boots. March requires an adjacent armor ally, and Boots deactivates once you lose HP. Assault Troop has the furthest reach, but you can't move diagonally, plus it is for the user only. Regardless, if you want extra armor movement, this is an excellent seal to upgrade. The last Sacred Seal for the update should be Squad Ace CL3. This should be from the 90th Squad Assault, and it grants plus 3 speed, defense, and res. This is the same as Squad Ace CB, and it's a basic flat stat booster for 3 stats.
As an exemplar of Frelia, I offer New Year's greetings. This kimono is nice. I am quite fond of it.
Most people are thinking Innis is here because Frelia's secret twin bow is called Nidhogg. As the sniper of the family, it makes total sense that Innis's non-bow wielding sister is the one on the banner with a unique weapon and unique passive. Meanwhile, the actual user of the serpent bow gets a second heroic grow ult. Last time Innis was here, his young ult waltzed in as one of the best heroic grow units for his time. For a free unit who had a chance of taking out stuff like the dreaded Fallen Edelgard, he must have had an impressive weapon. We'll see if that ult can keep up with the times in just a couple months. When it comes to New Year's Innis, not only is he a heroic grow unit, but he's the exact same class type as his young self, colorless infantry archer. I don't have anything against that, but we have 0 free-to-play green infantry archers, and this dude is literally covered in green. I see 0 reason to repeat heroic grow choices when we have hundreds of Fire Emblem characters to choose from. It makes even less sense to repeat the exact same class type. By the way, guess what class the OG archer Innis is as well. These decisions are going to be even more questionable, as we will soon discuss. Character and class choices aside, just like his young ult, New Year's Innis has come with solid offensive stats. He has 40 HP, 44 attack, 47 speed, 25 defense, and 37 res. Innis has attack and defense super boons. He is right behind the top for highest attack and speed for the free-to-play infantry archers, and he's going back to his OG form's higher res than defense focus. This may not be a bad thing, but Innis isn't a super res tank or anything. If you want to attack with the million distant counter units though, well, you may run into some issues. For his inheritable bow, Innis brings the Snaking Bow Plus. Once I saw he was the Tempest Trials unit, I knew he wasn't getting a unique bow since young Innis already got one. Now, the Snaking Bow Plus has 12 might. If the unit initiates or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grant plus 5 to all stats, deal true damage equal to 10% attack, and when special triggers, it provides full DR piercing. Since our last arcane bow, we've gotten 11 inheritable bows, including this one. 8 of those 11 have new effects, so by chance, at least some of them had to be decent. In my opinion, most of them are actually pretty amazing, or at least quite unique. Among free-to-play weapon choices, archers are incredibly lucky. To add a deer piercing specials bow to that group is further proof. By all accounts, Snaking Bow Plus is an awesome free-to-play weapon, plus 5 stats, some true damage, and then deer piercing. While archers have Deadeye, you can run this weapon with the new curved shot or just higher burst specialists. Infantry have DR piercing skills, but for the other class types, this could be a neat weapon to have around. I know they aren't the most common, but an armored archer can make good use of this weapon. Cows and flyers don't have the best cooldown options, so again, getting DR piercing on the lower 2 cooldown curved shot could be great. Along with his decent inheritable bow, Years Innes actually has some solid fodder skills. While Glacies would be nice to charge for DR piercing, nukes it would be tough to charge. For his A skill, Innes has Speed and Res Finish 3. New Finish Sacred Seal and a Heroic Grail source for another Finish Tier 3 is good in my books. Speed and Res Finish is on Demode Yulia, but now we got a guaranteed source if you really want it. For his other skill, Innes has no follow-up. Not a new option, but by god, I'll take this over Breath of Life 3. No follow-up is best on faster units to deny enemy follow-up related skills. Innes certainly has the speed to use it. Nice to see an actually synergistic base kit. If you want to merge Years Innes, the Neutral Nature gives plus 1 HP, attack, and speed. Nothing wrong with that. If you want more damage, the Attack Super Boon would be great. If you really want to survive physical hits, you could go for the Defense Super Boon. A Res Boon may also be an option for some builds. When it comes to free-to-play comparisons, this Innes is very comparable to the recent-ish Groom Alcris and Ciro. Innes matches up with Alcris' attack and speed, but swaps defense for res. Ciro is a trainee, so he has the same BST as Innes here. He has a good amount more extra HP due to those trainee stats. If you wanted a higher res archer, Innes falls toward the middle or upper middle part of the class. 37 isn't bad, but this past year we've gotten multiple very high res archers, including Spring Linhardt and Candace. Innes trades some res for much higher speed. If you don't get double, it could mean less damage overall. Now, ironically, Innes' greatest free-to-play competition may in fact be himself. In terms of just colors infantry archers, young Innes is still top dog for the heroic rail units. Even with Dragon Flowers, he's quite a bit behind his new alt offensive stats. However, young Innes has a lot more HP and a more balanced defense res spread. When it comes to weapons, Snaking Bow should have sounded familiar because it's a near copy of young Innes' Bow of Frelia. Stats, true damage, and deer piercing specials. The main difference is that young Innes gets slaying, which, what do you know, is kinda important when you got a deer piercing effect tied to your special. Snaking Bow may have extra defense and res, but plus 5 is hardly a crazy amount. As for the true damage, it applies to all hits, but you need 70 attack to match the Bow of Frelia's set plus 7 true damage. For the most part, getting an inheritable version of one of the best heroic rail units' weapons is excellent. If you're an Innes fan though, here's the funny thing. One of these units gets refined in February, and it's not the one releasing 1 month prior. So, not only do we get a repeat heroic rail character with a repeating class type, but now the new version's inheritable weapon is most likely going to get outclassed even further in 1 month. Arena scoring aside, young Innes almost certainly gets stats from his refine, which catches him up to Years Innes. He already had the slang advantage, so any other effects are just going to be a cherry on top. I would like to say that the Nidhogg tie-in for the Year of the Snake is kinda cool, if not a bit out of left field. Aesthetically, the new Innes looks awesome as well. However, everything Years Innes got gameplay-wise is sort of just a repeat of his most recent alt. It just feels a bit lame to me, especially since I myself have a plus 10 young Innes. If you want to compare the new Innes to Demon Archers, he is essentially a Gen 9 Leonardo. Literally his extra BST went into speed. If you want a higher res archer, there is Will, but he also has 10 plus less speed. In terms of pure offense, Innes is the fastest here, but Dorothy is right behind. She even has a speed super boon to further close the gap, and then farm her base attack. Every time we look at heroic rail and Demon Archers, Dorothy continues to crack me up with how nuts her stats are. Now when it comes to budget builds, Innes is one of the lucky few to have 2 actually useful passives that work with his stats and weapon. High base speed plus no follow-up means lots of doubling and not getting doubled. Snaking Bow focuses on specials, so Finish can tack on another 5 true damage. Unfortunately, Glacies is a bit tough to charge. If you take Flashing Blade, Innes can proc Iceberg or Luna on his follow-up attack, assuming he gets hit back. If you can attack twice in a row, then you will need to use a 2 quid on Moonbow or Glimmer. To ignore Guard, you can also use the Speed and Defense Tempo Sacred Seal. For the C-slot, you can go with a self-buffing skill like Attack and Speed Oath. Otherwise, any smoke debuff or team buffing skill is fine. It's a bit new, but Infantry No Follow is a nice C-skill to get for infantry teams. Sadly, you need the tier 4 to give No Follow to Innes himself. For the B slots, you can use Desperation while moving No Follow to the Sacred Seal slot or just outsourcing it. Guard's another skill that can go in either slot. Not taking a special counter would be ideal. For 8 skills, bonus doubler can work if you really want to boost all of Innes' stats. You can use the Sacred Seal as well. If you want some more damage, you can run a Finish Sacred Seal to stack up. The new Speed and Res finish is fine, or you can go for Attack and Defense or Attack and Res variants. It's been a little bit since the last Infantry Archer, so let's cover a couple premium builds. To start, the Snaking Bow can work nicely with Pledge or Flash Sparrows, Breath type cooldown. Better than Blade type cooldown, and Pledge works on the enemy phase. If you can move no follow-up out of the B slot, Tempo 4 would be solid. Non-special hits get 50% DR piercing, and Innes gets no guard. For 2 back-to-back hits, Innes can charge and proc Curved Shot. With Breath type cooldown, it is possible to charge Glimmer on a follow-up if Innes takes a counter. That's a big if. It requires Emblem Marth, but Snaking Bow could run a different setup. Slaying Curved Shot's 1 cooldown. Use Time's Pulse to pre-charge. You can use the Echo version or just get it from an ally. Now, Innes immediately can proc a DR piercing special. Curved Shot gives 40% DR for the counter, which Innes would love to have. If you run no guard, Innes can recharge for a second DR piercing Curved Shot. In this build, we don't need Tempo 4. This is where the new Speed Taker can work. It has no guard, true damage based on speed, and neutralizes speed debuffs. Fill this kit out with double finish skills to add 10 true damage on both hits. Obviously, young Innes can run this setup and use a different emblem ring. To differentiate a little, New Year's Innes has a ton of other inheritable bows. You can stack true damage with Stall Game Bow, Heart Bow has 60% DR, Gainful / White Wind Bow have no follow-up with attack and speed stacking, Brave Bows are a classic, and we got Ninja options plus White Cap. For arcane options, Nastron's fine for slaying, 30% DR and a decent attack buff, but we could easily get a third arcane option anytime now. For this Innes, he fits Arcane Dark Bow just fine. You want high speed to use the no follow plus Desperation effects for 2 tapping. Dark Bow is another weapon where Speed Taker can replace Tempo 4, though you can't get double special procs because you should be hitting 2 times immediately. If you have Time's Pulse, you can get Deadeye on a second hit and not worry about defensive tempo or Scowl messing up timing. For a different set of skills, you can try to make use of Innes' okay-ish 37 base res. It's not the best or most impressive, but you can try to make it work. Doubler Bow is a bonus doubler for Bow, and it gives plus 6 attack and res to the team. Pair this with Oddspeed Wave 4, and now Innes gives 3 field buffs to his teammates, plus he has no follow-up. You can then run bonus doubler skills. I wouldn't expect any crazy close bonus doubler setups, but if you did want to run something like Legu's Friend, then stat stacking would give you the best chances. Another option is a flat res stacking build for stuff like ploy skills. The new Pulse Up Ploy is kinda spicy since it's free cooldown every turn. If you're on the Carrot Bow Plus, this can add attack, defense, and discord debuffs with the Ploy condition. You could also use Ploy to facilitate Golden Yule Bow, -3 instant cooldown against foes with penalties. Instant Deadeye, or feel free to run Glazes if you got the cooldown. You could run Special Spiral 4 or Legu's Friend for DR piercing that way. For the most part, Infantry Archers have lots of cooldown skills to synergize with Snaking Bow, but you can get DR piercing from other sources as well. With his speed, Innes is a fine offensive archer, try to get no follow-up, and you can run a Brave Bow with Desperation for quad attacks. All of this depends on your inheritable bow of choice. It's been almost a year and a half since Arcane Dark Bow's release. There could be a third Arcane Bow sometime soon. Overall, this is still a pretty strong Tempest Trials despite any of my complaining. We have 2 great new Sacred Seals, and I would upgrade both if you got the coins. Regarding New Year's Innes, he's totally fine as a top-of-the-line offensive archer for free-to-play standards. His main drawback may be his lower defense, but that's mostly because distant counter threats are kinda hard to avoid if you want to be initiating. In terms of skills, an inheritable DR piercing bow is awesome. Deadeye may not be the best choice for everyone damage-wise, and for non-infantry, more DR piercing options is always good to have. Finish and no follow-up are also at least good fodder skills here. My main gripe is that New Year's Innes overlaps a lot with young Innes, who is set for Refine very soon. That kinda just feels like they did a copy and paste job, which puts the new ult in a weird spot if you wanted a DR piercing special focused archer. Add in the fact that the guy who actually uses the Nidhogg Serpent Bow isn't on the banner, and it's just kinda disappointing. At the very least, New Year's Innes looks fantastic, and I really like his special artwork's Japanese paintbrush style effects, getting some Okami vibes there. Very fitting for a unit who should be spamming specials as much as possible. That's all I got for this video. Reminder, the Tempest Trials releases with the banner in 2025. Not a bad way to begin the year, though I prefer less same character picks for our heroic Grail units. We'll see how many more dudes get second Grail alts this year. Thank you for watching, have a happy New Year's, and I will see you in the next video.